Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis Legacy. The sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Kevin Reivews, the creator of the Underworld franchise of movies and the Marvel Comics superhero Blue Marvel, sent me a digital copy of the final issue of his Zenoscope miniseries, Rise of the Dijinn. And when I first saw the cover of this third and final issue, I was absolutely floored by this fantastic image of Tamara wielding her power as a Merid. This image was something that if I saw it in a comic book store, I would immediately pick it up and I would immediately start looking through the page of that comic. Now, this image really shows your Tamara as being incredibly powerful and strong, and I love seeing images of sisters looking powerful and strong like this. Now, this cover is one that I would love to have as a poster because I love seeing this image of Tamara actualizing herself and actualizing her power. Now, this third issue opens up, leaving off where the second issue left off, and it's where your Shawn is resurrecting the corpse of your Grisham. And as he's resurrecting the corpse of your Grisham, what he does doing is trying to release the most powerful genie, also known as Aniki. Now, your Aniki gets some freedom for just a moment, and in that moment that he has his freedom, he then is taken over by his new master, who is your Shawn. And your Shawn then takes his power into himself and becomes the most powerful of the Dijinn. Now, as he's becoming the most powerful of the Dijinn, your Tamara is recovering from her injuries as related to her confrontation with the man who murdered her husband. And after avenging the man who murdered her husband, she was injured by your Shawn, who went out here and attacked her in an effort to try to consolidate his power, and now she's having an argument with the federal agent who is also a Dijinn. Now, as this is going on, your Musara is trying to bring together all of the Dijinn together in an effort to try to go out here and strategize as for the next stage of the war. But as he's making up his strategies, he has a confrontation with your Shawn, and this part of it leads to them seeing the ultimate power as related to your Shawn. Now, they think they can take him because they don't know that he has the power of the most powerful genie, and now he's got this power and he's going to go out here and consolidate his forces, and now he's going to go out here and possess all these people so he can go out here and go after the Merid, who is Tamara. Now, your Tamara is still grieving and struggling with things, and even though she's got this power, she feels powerless, so she's praying to God about these demons and these dark forces, and she's trying to go out here and try to find a way to deal with these forces. Now, she has a confrontation again with the federal agent, who is secretly a Dijinn and talking and dealing with the issues as related to the war, and she decides to go meet with her pastor and meet with her pastor to get some spiritual guidance. Now, after she gets this spiritual guidance, there's a major plot twist, and I don't want to give away that major plot twist because it really relates to Tamara's family and her relationship to the Dijinn and the power that she got and how she got this power and it relates to her family. Now, this meeting with her pastor comes before the climax of the Rise of the Dijinn, the war, and the final battle between herself and this now most powerful genie, who is I got to go back for his name because the names here are really complex, so I've got to go back for his name. But she has a confrontation with the Dijinn with all the power, who is Shawn. So this leads to a very powerful climax, and in that powerful climax with your Shawn and your Tamara, it builds into an ultimate final battle where your Tamara finally puts on the armor of the Merid. Now, the image of her with the armor of the Merid is a very powerful one, and it's one that shows how she's starting to come into her power, and it's where she takes on your Aniki, and she also takes on your Shidam, and when she takes them on, she gets the ultimate victory over these dark forces. And I don't really want to give away what happens here, but it's a very powerful battle, and I want you to experience that battle for yourself when you head over to the comic shop to pick up your own third issue of Rise of the Dijinn. This book is so good, I don't want to give it away. And what I really liked about this story of Rise of the Dijinn, the third issue, is how it presents a really complex story and really richly, fully developed characters. And again, this series really reminds me a lot of Disney's Gargoyles, and I could easily see your Sally Richardson Whitfield playing your Tamara the same way she played Elisa Maza back in the 90s, and I could easily see this Rise of the Dijinn easily becoming a movie adaptation. That's how good this comic is, and in many sequences it basically felt like a movie coming to life in the pages of the panels. That's what really good comic storytelling is all about, making it where the images are very bold and dynamic. And I have to say that the artist here, Elmo Bondoc, he did an absolutely fantastic job on the art here, and the colors and the colorist did a great job on the colors. Everything really pops in the pages of the Rise of the Dijinn, and it really has a real the pacing and everything flows very nicely. 34 pages feel like just a couple of minutes because you're practically turning pages for every in this issue, and you're not going to be disappointed with the conclusion of the Rise of the Dijinn. And I'm hoping that as related to the conclusion of Rise of the Dijinn, we get to see Tamara rise and be a part of the Zenoscope universe, because I'm really looking forward to seeing her interact with the other members of the Zenoscope universe, like your Robin Hood, like your Belle, and like the other characters in the Grimm fairy tales. I think she would be a wonderful addition to the Zenoscope universe and interacting with all of those other mythical and legendary characters. And I would love to see this sister interacting with those heroes, because she's an absolutely fantastic and well-developed character, and she's, as I see it, one of the best characters in your Zenoscope universe as I see it. Now, I've read a lot of Zenoscope books, and I really love the storytelling. I have to say Robin Hood is better than Green Arrow these days as related to writing and character development, and I really like Belle's stories, but Tamara's story is one of the best I've seen, and this third issue really ends the miniseries on a satisfying conclusion as related to Tamara's issues, as related to her personal life, and moves the character forward as related to future adventures. This is all part of really solid writing by Kevin Reivews, and it really fits that whole paradigm that I learned from reading Sid Field's screenplay, and that is stories are about endings and beginnings. And at the end of this Rise of the Dijinn miniseries, we see the beginning of Tamara as a supernatural superheroine. And that beginning has me anticipating the next story that features Tamara, and anticipating picking up the next issue of the Dijinn series featuring Tamara. I would love to see her come out in a future story, and I can easily see her becoming as popular as Elisa Maza did back when Gargoyles was on the air in the 90s, because the tone and the spirit of the Dijinn series really reminded me of Disney's Gargoyles, and Disney's Gargoyles by Greg Weisman, again, was one of the best animated series of the 90s, and this comic really captures all of that dynamic energy and all of that rich, complicated storytelling and rich multidimensional characters. That's what we got in Disney's Gargoyles, and I think we could get that in this Dijinn character and Tamara's character as she explores the world of the genies, the worlds of magic, and has this fantastic armor to deal with these kinds of conflicts and struggles in this world of these mythical and magical characters. Your third issue of Rise of the Dijinn is one that I definitely recommend you pick up, and it's a mini-series that I definitely recommend you come out here and head to your comic shop to pick up paper copies, because digital doesn't do this book justice. You really need to head to the comic shop and pick up this absolutely fantastic miniseries, because it's one of those really great comics that's out here that a lot of people don't know about, and I want more people to pick up really great comics like Rise of the Dijinn and see how great Tamara's story is. Now, I have my own comic, Esteem No Good Deed, available on Amazon.com right now for 99 cents, and you can pick up that comic on Kindle right now. And my upcoming comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, will be available soon. Antonio Baldari has finished all of the pages for John Haynes at Death's Door, and right now I'm waiting for the cover, and as soon as I get the cover, I will be launching the Kickstarter. But until then, you can again pick up Esteem No Good Deed for 99 cents on Kindle if you want to pick up an SJS Direct comic, and if you want to pick up some of the stories that feature my heroes and heroines in the SJS Direct universe, like the Isis series, the Esteem series, and the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy. You can find all of those books in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com. I want to thank Kevin Reivews for sharing this mini-series with me and giving me an opportunity to share this comic with you, and I'm hoping you guys pick up Rise of the Dijinn and his other comics like Bass Reeves at online booksellers everywhere. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. If you think you've seen scares, get ready for the horror of the hyena woman.